and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us right here on The Right View. Great show tonight, but before we get started, I want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Balance of Nature. If you know anything about me, you know that I take my health very seriously. In fact, with each year that passes, the goal of staying in my healthiest and best shape takes on more and more importance in my life. Feeling good is something that I don't take for granted. It has become an essential goal for me every single day. That's why I always remember to take Balance of Nature supplements. Balance of Nature receives over 1,000 success stories every single month. They have hundreds of thousands of customers who have purchased billions of capsules of their fruits and veggies over the past 20 years. Their products are gluten-free and non-GMO, and they contain no added sugars or synthetics. If you're looking for something to make you feel better naturally, you should give Balance of Nature a try. In fact, you can order today and check it all out on their website. Whether you order online or call them directly, you can use promo code Lara to get special offer of 35% off your order. Call them at 800-246-8751 and use the discount code Lara. Or order online at balanceofnature.com and use discount code LARA to get 35% off. If getting more serious about your health is something you've been wanting to commit to, I highly recommend that you check out Balance of Nature. Tonight, we are so excited. We are joined by the matriarch of the Deegan family. She's got so much going on, Marissa Deegan. Marissa, welcome to the show. For those of you out there who may not know Marissa, your husband, Brian, just tell us about your family. You guys are either like pro athletes or you got kids on the way to being pro athletes. What's happening in the Deegan family? Tell everybody.
Hi, yeah, thanks for having me. Okay, yeah, well, we're basically an action sports-based family. My husband, Brian Deegan, did X Games, used to race supercross, motocross, and it basically kind of just evolved into our kids naturally doing the same thing. It wasn't planned that way. Honestly, I wasn't raised in a race family. Like no one raced in my family. My parents worked. There's 6 of us kids. We all did sports.
Oh, wow. 6. Holy Toledo.
I'm the oldest of 6. Yeah. So, wow. It just wasn't my thing. Like I wasn't familiar to it. So, dating Brian and getting married, and going through everything I did with his career, I was like, oh, when we have kids, they're definitely not racing. No way. Just because you go through the injuries and all that stuff, but it actually created me to be a tough, strong mom in a sense. Because when my kids came, that's all they want to do. There was no doing. At the age of 2, they're already on dirt bikes, and that's all they want to do. That's it. So.
Okay. So you're making me feel a little bit better. Just before the show, I mentioned this to you. My husband has been taking our 6-year-old son, Luke, to dirt bike. And I in my mind, I was like, okay, 6 is maybe a little bit young for this, but it's one of those things where whenever dad comes in and he's like, we're going to go do this. We're going to bro out together. We're going to go ride dirt bikes. I can't, as a mom, be like, wait a minute. I'm a little nervous about that. But your kids were riding dirt bikes at 2 years old.
Oh yeah. They're on dirt bikes at 2. Yeah. They're racing competitively by ages 6 and 7. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, actually the second time my husband, so he took Luke, this is 3 or 4 weeks ago, first time on a dirt bike. He probably rode the dirt bike 30 minutes. And then the next weekend, he was like, want to do a race? And my husband sends me a video of this race, Marissa. It is one of the more legit things I've ever seen. There are 100 kids there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did he do? Truth be told, he got stuck in the sand. It was a very sandy track. Not that I know anything about anything. But so what, how was that for you as a mom? Because it's one thing to see your husband, about whom I'm sure you worried, doing things that you can hurt yourself, that he indeed did hurt himself doing. Then whenever it's your kids want to follow in dad's footsteps, how is that as a mom?
You know what? So like I said, at first, I was super nervous about them racing because I don't want to deal with the same injuries. Brian's almost, died racing, and I've got the calls from the doctors and stuff like that. So I, as a like mom, like you with your kids is totally different. Like I just feel like that, like it's just that bond is different with your kids. It's like a part of you. So it's like to know like there's that risk involved, you know, was scary at first. But honestly, I feel like going through all that with Brian, it kind of made me stronger and like not as scared anymore. So once like, you know, for instance, my daughter, that's all she wanted to do is race cars. Like that's it. So by like
Wow.
7 years old, like we did the dance, we did the soccer, I mean, we did all things sports. And it was okay. Like she was okay with it, but never like when it came to racing, like that's all she wanted to do and begged till we got her that race car, you know, and
It's in her blood.
it's totally, I agree that it's 100% in the blood. Like it's a gene thing because like, even with my boys, I'm like, okay, with Hayden, like we're not racing dirt bikes. We've already like, you know, lost a couple athletes, you know, to doing freestyle motocross. I'm like, we're not doing dirt bikes. Sure enough, 2 years old, it's all he wants. I mean, that's all the toys he has. He would just go out there and look at all the riders as they're training for X Games. And I mean, that's all he wanted to do. And sure enough, he's on a dirt bike. So we're like, okay, they can do the fun stuff. They can go riding and, you know, have fun, but they're not racing. So I'm like, they're not racing. They're just going to do it for fun. Sure enough, Hayden gets on the dirt bike with Brian at the track one day. He's got it. Brian comes home. He can do it. He can race, mom. Like, or he can race. And sure enough, next week we're at a race too. Same thing. Just like that. One day practice, kind of trying to, we're racing the next week. So,
oh, wow. I'm glad we're not the only ones. I mean, because I was like, oh, it's a race. And then he sent me the video and I was like, oh my gosh. Your daughter, you know, it's funny because you said earlier that you're like, I didn't push them into this, but your daughter, Haley, gives you credit as being the one who got her into racing. So what was the story there?
So Brian, from doing dirt bikes, X Games, Supercross and all that, when, you know, that you kind of 30s, that transition that you kind of start, like if you want to continue racing, you go into four wheels. And basically had an opportunity with one of his sponsors to go race off-road trucks and rally cars. And that's what he transitioned into. And it was an X Games at the time. And, you know, she was always to race with us. And once she saw the little kids carts going around, she's like, Mom, that's what I want to do. I'm like, okay, like, okay. So then to talk with Brian, he's like, I don't know, like really put her in a race car? Like, I don't know. And she didn't have that type of aggressive behavior as a kid growing up. She was very like to do crafts and like to sew and like to cook. And that her just demeanor was very like soft and sweet and settled. So we're like, okay, we'll get her one for fun. We're going to be at the races every week. Why not? Let's, you know, get her one. So we surprised her for her 8th birthday with a racetrack. And we just went and bought like a cheap little truck. We didn't think, you know, much into it. And from that day on, 100%, like that's all she wanted to do. We gave it a year of just like learning because like we didn't come from racing with kids and stuff. So we're like, let's just see what this is like. And then sure enough, as it progressed, she got really good. And then you get all in and there you go. You're running a full race team for kids and it just
casual.
Yeah.
Just a little side hustle. Oh my God. It's so cool. And I love your posts on Instagram. It's so funny because what are your kids' ages right now?
So Haley's 22. Hayden turned 18 a couple weeks ago and Hudson is 13.
It's funny because mine are young. They're 4 and 6. So they're little still. And they want to be with me. But all of my friends who have kids who are like over the age of 10 are like, soak it up now because they're going to be embarrassed by you soon. And I love some of your posts. You're like, yeah, my son wasn't really into this, but I'm here with him. And it's like, it's so funny. It's so cute because I think so many parents can relate to that. And it's one thing when the kids are like, they do this stuff and they come run over and they want to be with you. But then they kind of get to this level and they're like, oh, Mom, you're embarrassing me. But what a cool mom you are. I mean, I love it. I think it's fantastic. Their friends must think you're pretty cool.
I don't know. I mean, I want to hope they would think I'm cool. I mean, I still like to do fun stuff. Like, I don't look at myself as like the older mom. Like, I kind of feel like I still can fit in and do the fun activities that they do. And I still love to have fun. And we're such like a tight family that we've always done everything together. So like, it doesn't even matter what it is. We're always going to events together or concerts together or parties together or, you know, NASCAR races, truck races, dirt bike races. So everything's always kind of been all of us. So it's not like out of the norm that we're like with our kids at events because we've always done that.
Yeah.
And they don't ever really say anything. It's funny, you know, when me and Hayden went to the concert, and he went with my sister, so all his aunts too, you know, and
Love it.
he had like we had so much fun. And I mean, I'm stoked that like I can still hang out with my kids and do those things and enjoy it, because honestly, I love it. Like, they're my life, you know.
Well, that's every mom. And by the way, I was one of those people who was like, I'm not going to be like so consumed with my kids when I have kids. And like now I'm so consumed with my kids. Believe me, I got my own stuff going on too, so many other moms out there. But I mean, there's nothing greater in the entire world than having kids and watching like every milestone, seeing them grow up. And honestly, as hard as it's been for me to be like, okay, to Eric, like take Luke and you guys go. It's so good for them, and it's so nice to see them bonding over those sort of things too. I absolutely love it. I mean, but I wasn't one of those people who initially was like, let me have kids. It took some convincing from my husband. Were you always into having kids?
Yeah, I came from a big family, so I knew like I wanted.
Yeah, one of 6.
Yeah, so I knew I wanted a lot of kids. So now I'm kicking myself in the butt. So I'm like, gosh, I wish I'd had 1 or 2 more, because
oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, obviously, because I mean we're so busy. But I love it. So I get to just like enjoy all my sister's kids because they're all still little. So I'm like, let me take on one of them, you know. So, but I love it.
So it's the best thing in the whole world. All right. We're talking about your whole family, Marissa, but I am going to get right after this commercial break. I want to talk to you about fitness, because although your family is full of athletes, you are no slouch yourself, ma'am. Let me just say that. Everybody stay where you are. We'll be right back. Our country's facing so many problems these days under Joe Biden. The last thing any of us need is more to worry about. Unfortunately, now we have to fear losing our freedom and privacy with the Democrats' new push for a digital dollar that could allow the government to tell us what we can and cannot buy with our own hard-earned money. That's why I'm encouraging every one of you tuning into the show right now to get The Secret War on Cash, an insightful report created by my friends at Swiss America. With this report, you'll learn how to protect yourself from the threats facing our freedom and your hard-earned money. The report is available right now to my listeners free of charge. Just call 800-289-2646 or visit www.swissamerica.com/Trump for your free report. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to say thank you to my listeners for all of your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TRUMP, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Take advantage of this sale and get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0 or the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last for long. You can also get 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. Take advantage of the free shipping on larger items like mattresses and mattress toppers. All of this 100% made in the USA and on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com and use promo code TRUMP or call 800-624-3945 and get free shipping on your entire order while supplies last. All right, so obviously, it's a lot to come from a family of athletes. I'm trying to have a family of athletes myself. I got them in all this stuff. It sounds like how you did with your kids as well. But you yourself are very into fitness from what I have noticed. What does it look like for you, Marissa?
I do. I'm really into fitness. Well, it's been hard with this transition moving to Florida, because back home we're from California. I had like my whole system there. So moving to the East Coast, like we're building the gym right now at our new house in Florida. But I've always done like hot yoga and spin, and that's just always my go-to for like my time. So I have not found those places out here yet. I've tried a few different studios. So I got to build it and just bring it here to my house because I can't, I've tried places, but it's not the same. It's not.
When in doubt, just build it yourself. What part of Florida are you guys in?
So we're in Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay.
So basically Hayden's race team that he signed with, Star Yamaha, their training facilities here. So we had to make them here basically for his career. So.
Wow. So last time I talked, when I interviewed your husband not too long ago, you guys were still in North Carolina.
So we have that house too. So that house, so we basically built that house because of racing also. So NASCAR's hub is Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's like where all the NASCAR related stuff is.
Right.
So when Haley was getting into that world, we built that house out there because also there's good training facilities for Hayden for dirt bikes as well out there. So we've had that place for the last 5 years and did a lot of the training and stuff. And we love that place still. So that's just our other house. And then we had to move here though for like Hayden's career. Like basically Haley's is already going. So that wheel's already spinning. We don't really need to like hover over that anymore. But with Hayden's career, it's so much more demanding in supercross and motocross. So you kind of need a good support team to kind of be around you in those early years because it is demanding. Like, I mean, he trains every single day of the week with racing. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. So we had to make.
Were the H names all on purpose? All your kids are named first names?
No, I don't even know what first. It just no, it wasn't on purpose. But then finally, like when I had Hudson, I'm like, it's got to be an H name too. You know, so I mean, I
might as well keep it going.
Yeah.
No, it's so cute, but it's a lot. It's a lot when you're talking about them all. There's a lot of H names going on. It's funny because I'm sure you never imagined that your life would turn into this, but it's kind of turned into like a reality TV kind of YouTube thing. You've got fans, you've got viewers, people following your whole family. Did you ever expect anything like this to happen?
Honestly, no, like not at all. So like Brian and his group of guys back in their earlier days of doing like freestyle motocross, they always filmed everything. And they actually were just like goofy, just filming skits and being silly, like before even YouTube was even a thing. So that over the years evolved into just us filming the kids doing everything they're doing. And YouTube was just a place to put content back then. Like we didn't even know, I mean, 10 years ago that you can monetize it and actually make it a business.
Right.
Not just we're filming videos and they, go on YouTube. And then it just kind of evolved into that. And like YouTube's like one of the biggest places like kids and youth and, teens watch everything on. I mean, that's the only thing my kids have on is YouTube in the house, they can watch the races.
By the way, it's actually terrifying because my kids get 50, if they have a great day at school, I'll caveat it with that. They get 15 minutes on like an iPad. And I try to very closely monitor what they're doing. A lot of times they originally started out like wanting to play these little games, and I try, Marissa, to put the educational games on there. And then all of a sudden I noticed that they'd be like, can I watch YouTube? And like my daughter's watching like other kids playing with dolls. My son for some reason is into like car crashes and stuff like that, which now that he's like riding dirt bikes, I'm like, I don't know about that. But it's kind of wild because that's the thing. They're like, can we watch YouTube? And I'm like, I don't know. But all these kids are watching YouTube. That's what they do. Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. So when they were little, I mean, actually it's gotten way, like, you got to be careful with YouTube today, But
well, yeah, because they auto like the next thing pops up and then I'm turning around making a snack and I'm like, oh, this car's.
I know.
So what is this? Yeah.
So I was like, when they were younger, they were not allowed to go on YouTube at all. But I mean, it was a lot of years ago. But now they know, better what comes on and stuff. But you do have to be careful with it. And for me, like I'm the same way. Like I said, 15 minutes on the iPad. So my kids, I'm really strict about that too. So like for instance, like Hudson's 13, like he doesn't even have it like a phone or anything yet. So I'm really strict. I really monitor like what they see and do because they are exposed to a lot in our world. But at the same time, I also keep them kind of in my circle and like, watching what they're doing and like, for social media, they have big followings on social media, but I never allow them to have their own social media on their devices, like literally until they're like 17, 18. So
that's really smart. It's such a scary space out there. I feel like for these kids. Is it hard though for your 13-year-old to, I'm sure all of his friends probably have phones at this point. And I don't know what the right age is to give a kid a phone. Like, thank goodness I'm not in a space yet where I have to deal with that, but I think about it a lot. And I'm like, I see some of these kids at like 8, 9 years old, they have phones. And I mean, man, this stuff is it's like crack. This is so addictive. I don't think it's good for these kids. We know like the social media stuff is horrible for kids.
Horrible.
So how is that? Does he ask for one all the time?
So yeah, my 13-year-old does. Like I just got him one actually, and I haven't given it for him. Like he can't use it yet. I'm just like, so I do have one for him because he does go to school. He's been homeschooled for years, and so I put him in a school just to try and like give him something to do while we're out here during the day. But we're probably gonna pull him back out and put him back in homeschool again. But he's like, Mom, I need a phone when I'm at school. If I need to call you, I'm like, go to the office and call me. That's what I did when we were kids. Like, you know.
By the way, my mom, it was 1-800-CALL ATT. I would call her collect. I'm not even joking. From like a payphone in the breezeway in school. Yeah. I remember calling my mom, 1-800-COLLECT, and she would have to accept the call. I don't know what I could charge her 50 cents or something. Yeah. But yeah, that's what we did back in the day. It's amazing. It was connected to a wall. Incredible. Yeah. That's how old I am, Marissa. My God. Yeah.
No, I feel like that age probably honestly is like maybe 13, 14, you know. I don't know. For me, it's a hard one. Like, I guess it just depends on the maturity of the kid and like,
that's true.
Are they going to listen? Like to me, it has to be earned. It's a privilege. And, so, and you have to be responsible. So it's just all the little things that have to like play a part, and they cannot have social media. Like, and as in those earlier days, like it's a hard no. So don't even ask.
Yeah. It's like poison for these kids. All right. So yeah. Go ahead.
Important. No, you're right. I was saying it's just not important for them at that young age to have it and see what everybody else is doing. And I feel like how I was able to direct them and, be outside all the time and do activities and be good at sports is they're not sitting on a phone staring at it all the time. And I literally drive me nuts when I see kids sitting on their phone all day long. I don't like
No, my goal is as soon as I pick my kids up from school, we either go directly from school to a whole afternoon of activities, or they come home, change, have a quick snack, and we go to a whole afternoon of activities. I don't need any downtime. And I make it a goal, actually, when we go out to dinner, that there's no device available. Actually, my husband, I get mad at him all the time because I'm like, get off your phone. They're like, the kids aren't even, I don't give them anything. I'm not on anything. I'm like, you want to do something? Here's something to color. Like they'll bring you some crayons over here. But it's crazy, Marissa, because I look around when we go out to dinner and literally an entire restaurant is just full of kids looking at like this. And I'm like, this is terrible. And I get that it's easy and I get we all need a break and I understand that. But I'm trying to teach my kids, look, when you are here in the moment, you need to be engaged. You need to talk to people. You need to be able to have a conversation. I feel like we are losing that in society. It's kind of scary. I don't know what things are going to look like in 30 years if this is where we are now.
I know. I agree. I honestly feel like it's the parents' job to direct that and, and redirect it back if, they're losing control of it. I mean, who cares?
It's hard.
At that young age, like you have to be in charge, So.
Oh yeah, no. And that's, believe me, my kids know who's in charge. Eric and I had a conversation about this last night with someone. They were like, who are the kids more afraid of if they like misbehave or they do something wrong at school? And we both are like, no, they're more afraid of me. No, they're more afraid of me. That's okay. A good dose of fear. That's good. They know what the boundaries are. They know what the expectation is. And there's, as far as I'm concerned, then you shouldn't have any excuse. You knew what to expect and they know when they messed up. So I'm okay with that. I want to ask you about the competitive nature of things in your family, because I imagine that having a family full of athletes and they're all kind of doing similar things. Is it a really competitive family? Like, are they all competing against one another? How is that?
Yeah, they are actually really competitive. Even like when Brian was racing full time, like him and Haley were racing the big trucks together and stuff. Even though they weren't in the same class, they were competitive, like who won that weekend, So it definitely, they're all competitive. And especially my boys right now, even though like there's such a gap, like 18 and 13, but they're still so competitive at everything they do, like everything. I mean, you could just be in the yard kicking a ball or hitting a ball.
Oh yeah.
They're competitive. So I think that just comes natural, like, with a high energy athletic family, they're going to be competitive always, I mean, they'll give my daughter more time if she's not doing good. Like they're definitely competitive.
But I think that's a good thing overall. I feel like I want my kids to be hungry for something and want to go for it, whatever it is, whatever they end up being into and interested in. I obviously it was sports for me, and I feel like that's a great path for kids. If it's not that, it's something else, then great. Like be competitive. Try to be the best at whatever it is. I mean, I think that's a really positive thing. For kids out there, especially right now in this country, I feel like there are so many spaces where there are just no expectations. They're lowering standards, everything. No, you should want to be the best at whatever you're doing. I love that that's how your kids are. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. We have high expectations, and we like, honestly, like whatever they love, like, it doesn't have to be racing. Of course, they fell into that, which is great because that's what we know. But, like my daughter played competitive volleyball on a club team for years. And we want 100%, whatever we do, and what, we'll provide the resources, but let's do it. Like, if you love something, let's go 100%, but you've got to find something, you know what I mean? Like, you got to find, because I want the kids to be active. I want them to be outside. I want them doing things. So I think that's really important.
Well, they have great role models as parents. Obviously, you and your husband are who I think they kids naturally want to emulate. So I hope the same goes for my family. Look, they got two parents who go hard at whatever we do. Certainly two grandparents who go hard at whatever they do. Right. Not only my father-in-law, but my dad as well. I mean, don't kid yourself about that. Their eye is on everybody, and they're paying attention and they're watching. So I think it's great. What is a parenting tip you might have for parents out there, whether they want their kids to be pro racers or not? What's one piece of advice you would give to all parents that maybe you've learned over the years?
Honestly, like, my advice would be just to, like, whatever, I mean, if it's racing or not, like, just give it 100% at whatever they're going to do, because I mean, while they're young, you need to provide those resources and be able to, like, model what that looks like. And you as parents are going to be in charge of having to get them there, providing they need to do that thing. So it's really up to the parent's job to get them through those years if they find what they like. Because I mean, without that, like, how are they going to, like, become better at what they do, So I just would say, like, to parents, like, go all in. When your kid finds what they enjoy and love, go 100% for them and be able to provide that for them. And it doesn't always have to be like something big, I mean, racing is a lot, it is expensive and stuff. And luckily, through Brian's career, he's able to provide those resources and know a lot in the community. But I mean, there's always ways, and kids can look for sponsors and try to reach out to different people. I mean, I didn't in these earlier days, trying to, do that with, different people and teach them how to do that too. So that as they get older, they're able to learn how to go out and talk with companies and, get people to help.
Yeah.
So
that's huge.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Marissa, it's just like showing up for your kid, making sure that they know that you're going to be there. Believe me, like, some days, my life's been a little crazy lately. It's about to get even crazier. But you know what? We have a couple of things going on. But honestly, like, I do everything I can to be there for every big event that they have. And sometimes it's a soccer practice. Sometimes it's that, they're going to get a new jujitsu belt. I try to be there for everything. Sometimes it's just like day-to-day activities, picking them up from school. When your kid knows that you're there backing them, they have your support, I think that is so powerful. And I remember growing up, it meant so much to me that every game, every track meet, every cheerleading competition, whatever it was, my parents were there in the front row, whether they had to fly across the country for it or not. And it really made the world of difference to me. So there's so many different ways you could support your kids. People who want to follow you, want to find out more about the family, all the racing that you guys have going on, Marissa, where can they go to follow you and everybody else?
Yeah, our YouTube channel is a good one. The Deegans is basically, I mean, our lifestyle reality kind of show that it does all racing, all family life. We have another YouTube, it's called Unleashed, the Deegans Unleashed. And then, just Marissa Deegan. But I'm probably more the boring one. My kids are all the action and my husband's all the action. I'm just the, like,
girl, don't kid yourself. The moms make it happen. I know that. That is the truth. Without great moms out there, like, forget it. The world would stop turning and it would just all be over. So you're doing something amazing and you have an incredible family, so much to be proud of. Thank you for joining us and spending a little time with us here at The Right View. We appreciate you, and keep doing all the fun stuff you guys are doing. We'll be watching. To everybody at home, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and follow, and we'll see you back here next time for more of The Right View.
And I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out.
Nothing is worse than being on a phone call that drops. Nothing is worse than trying to text someone and you can't reach them because your phone is out of service range. And nothing is worse than supporting these major corporations and companies who don't support us. That is why I love Patriot Mobile. They are America's only Christian conservative wireless network. They use every cell tower out there available to all networks so that they have the greatest 4G and 5G coverage nationwide, and they support the causes that are important to us as conservatives. If you go today to patriotmobile.com/Lara Trump and use the promo code Trump, you will get free activation today. Again, that is patriotmobile.com/Lara Trump. The promo code is Trump for free activation so that you can get a great cell plan and feel good about doing it.